what I really like to do is warm up before I start, and I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about mental game stuff, but one common analogy that's often made is that you don't see some NBA player, some football player or whatever just run out to the field and start playing. They do things beforehand, both mentally and physically, to try to psych themselves up, try to stretch, try to get some blood flowing to their brain and to the rest of their muscles. So I think that with something as competitive as poker, that you should do that as well. Now, in terms of what I do, it kind of varies a lot. It kind of depends on how I feel that day. A lot of times, I'll just sit out on my porch and just think for 3 to 5 minutes, something like that, and I'll just think about, okay, this is what I want to do today. This is I want to focus on whatever, value betting thinner, controlling tilt, not getting upset when I go up a lot of money and then lose a lot of money. Making sure I pay attention to HUD stats. I mean, there's an endless amount of things that you can choose to focus on. And then also sometimes, like I said, depending on how I feel, I will write it on a piece of paper. I'm sure you guys remember in grade school or high school or whatever, the teacher always would tell you that if you're studying for a test, it's always better to write things down. It just helps you remember them better. So I think that's probably the ideal component, the ideal option. So let's just do that real quick. I'll kind of do normally I would just do it on with pen and paper, but just for obviously the sake of the video, let's use Notepad. So I'd say something like, pay attention to different opponent types. Don't underestimate weaker players. And this is just something personal of mine. It's just, I feel like if I'm playing a good player, I really put all my heart and soul in it. I'm looking at all their HUD stats. I'm trying to balance everything very well. I'm, completely focused. But when it comes to fish, sometimes I just get into autopilot too much because I know I can, I don't want to say crush, but I can beat them with, not much effort at all. But I think that's still, you're leaving a little bit of value on the table if you're just playing too ABC. I think there's kind of a fine line there. So don't underestimate weaker players. Pay attention to HUD stats. I know that's something sometimes I'll play a guy 50 hands and I'll look at his fold to continuation bet is 10 or something, and I've just been c-betting every flop like a drooler. So something I've been trying to work on. And let's do one more, something like don't be results oriented, be play oriented. It just means making the right play. I have talked about this before. I believe it was a CardRunners video where I said once you make a play and you think it's the right play, whether it's bluff shoving the river or rejamming or shoving into a big blind or 3-betting somebody that's constantly been raising the button, whatever. Once you do it, and if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean it was the wrong play. There's nothing that can get you off the railroad tracks quicker than just going back into your shell once some aggressive play doesn't work. So anyway, I'll type this up or write it down, like I said, and then I'll sit down on my computer and I kind of wanted to record the whole screen. I have a 27 or a 30-inch monitor, and for anybody that plays sit and goes, unless you're one of those psychos that can stack 30 games or whatever, I would definitely recommend a 30-inch monitor. I mean, they are expensive. They're about $800 refurbished, $1,200 new, but it just creates all the real estate on your screen is just so luxurious and makes playing a lot easier. So anyway, so I'll start up my poker clients. I'll start up Hold'em Manager, and I'll get all my lobbies set up and make sure all my filters are correct and everything. And then one thing I do, I'll pull over the full tilt client here. Let's just go into this. What I do, since sometimes I'm playing 2 games, sometimes I'm playing 5 games, sometimes I'm playing 10 games. It just depends on what's running. I put all kinds of different layouts here. Like I have 4 different ones, so depending on how many games I have, and I also play stars, so I kind of correspond those together. So, what used to happen with me is like there would just be tables just everywhere all over the screen, especially when you're multi-siting, not multi-accounting, but playing on different sites. It can get really sloppy really quick, and you're moving your mouse too much over the screen. I know that sounds kind of like it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but if you're playing for long hours at a time, that can really affect you. So I like to try to minimize the screen space that I use when I'm moving back and forth.